Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. This is, What If Issei Fall in Love with Vali Part 1. Please support Imperial B Sama for this awesome fan fiction. Kuo Academy. Please tell me why the fuck I still hang around you peeping toms. I'll never get a girl while I hang around your asses. A brown-haired teenage boy said, while questioning his life. Oh Issei, you hang around us because you're the only person who's kind to us. A guy who's bald stated. Yeah, you only go around just doing nothing. You needed some friends. A guy wearing glasses stated. But why do I hang out with you two Matsuda and Motohama? I'd rather be hanging out with Aika than you two, and for good reason. The maturely acting one stated. But Issei, she can make every man freak out when near her. Matsuda stated with fear in his voice. Just then, the perverted duo and Issei noticed a girl with silver hair appears, walking towards the school they go to, Kuo Academy. The school recently became a co-ed school after years of being a girls-only academy. Her name's Valerie. She prefers going by her nickname Vali. Her sizes are B70W60H65. Motohama says. She looks very cute. Someone who could be a good friend, maybe more. Issei says. Issei, that girl is the White Dragon Emperor. She holds the sacred gear that holds my mate, who just also happened to be my younger sister. What do you plan on doing? I plan on becoming her friend. She seems like a very nice person, Diedrich. You two perverted idiots are on your own for the rest of the day. I'm going to go say hi to her. Issei said, now ignoring the words that the two are shouting. Issei strolls up to the girl, hoping to make a good first impression. Hi, my name is Hyodo, Issei. Please take care of me, Issei stated. Valerie then replied, my name is Valerie Lucy, but please call me Vali. I'm new here. Please take care of me. I was hoping to be your friend. I don't really have many due to who I hang out with. If you want, I could show you around town. Issei asked. Vali replied, that would be nice Issei. I'd like it if you showed me around town. How about this Sunday? Issei replied, this Sunday then, you got it. With Vali, I sense that he holds my eternal mate and brother, Diedrich. I can see your thoughts. You want him as your queen. Your two knights also want him. What will you do? Albion, please chill. I know that they want him, but it's not only them as well as myself. I sense a girl who has a sacred gear nearby who is also into Issei. Vali told Albion through their mental connection. With Issei, Diedrich, did you sense her? Apparently she's a devil and she also has the gear that holds your sister and mate. Not only that, but she also has two knight pieces that are used. Issei said to Diedrich through their connection. So that's why the two devil signatures came from the Kendo Club. Apparently the two who keep leading the charge against the perverted duo are Katase and Murayama. Apparently they are the servants of Vali. I also can sense the presence of a sacred gear in your friend Aika. I suggest you let on that you know Vali's secret, Diedrich replied. That Sunday. Well Vali, let's get moving. I'll show you around town. Issei stated with joy. The two started moving around. Issei then led Vali to the local arcade. This is the arcade. Apparently they just added a game, Virtual Battleship. I heard it's just like the board you'd be interested in playing against me. Nothing to brag about, but when it comes to Battleship I've never lost to an opponent. Not even the student council president could beat me in the game. Issei stated. Vali replied, I'll give it a try. If you've never been taken down in Battleship, I'd like to try. 200 moves later. B6, Vali stated. Issei replied, damn it, you just took out my Battleship. Well, there's a first. No one has ever beaten me at my own game. That was a good match though. I admit defeat. I like you Issei. You're a nice guy. Would you be willing to be my boyfriend if I asked? Vali asked. Issei then replied, if you told me to go to hell and back and be your boyfriend, I'd say yes. So yes, I'd be happy to. After going through town, here we are at the park, the final stop of the day. By the way, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Are you a devil? Do you have servants? Did you plan on making me into a servant? If so, what piece? Issei asked. I knew I couldn't hide it, if you've awoken the Red Dragon Emperor already. To answer your questions, yes, I'm a devil. Yes, I have servants. Two knights, Katase and Murayama. Yes, I was planning to make you into my servant, willingly, of course. You were either going to be a pawn or queen. My queen piece is a mutation piece and it seems to have a higher affinity with you than my pawn pieces. Vali replied. Ah, it seems I've caught two humans together. Both who are deemed a threat to the Grigori. I'll be happy to take you two out for the praise of Azazel. A figure suddenly stated, shocking both of them. Vali started laughing like she knew what was going on. That's a funny thing to say, Rainier. I personally know Azazel wouldn't order to have me or Issei here killed. I know Cokehead is fucking with you because he's scared of the two dragon emperors. And don't give me the BS about that you don't know me. It's me, Valerie, and so Azazel doesn't kill you, I'll give you and whoever was forced by Cocobeel's hand a place in my peerage. Please take this option. I don't want to kill one of my three friends from the Grigori. Vali pleaded. Valerie, both Midlet and Calawarner were forced into joining his plan. They'd be worth a pawn apiece. Donasik is planning on having us three extract a former nun's sacred gear in 2 days. Rainier replied. Alright. In a day, we'll take Asia out, and then the same night, we'll extract you and your two friends. This way, Azazel doesn't punish you three for disobeying his order and Kokebeel can't come after you without starting a war. Vali stated. I'll let my friends know. See you, Vali. Rainier stated. Issei's house. What the hell is going on here? Issei says, waking up to quite the unusual sight. Next to him naked in his bed was Vali Lucy, the girl who had recently become his master.
Issei's house. What the hell is going on here? Issei says, waking up to quite the unusual sight. Next to him naked in his bed was Vali Lucy, the girl who had recently become his master. Not that Issei minded what had happened, but it did require an explanation.
Yawn. Oh, good morning, Issei, how are you? Vale says, having just woken up herself. Not that I don't mind seeing you naked, but what's going on? Issei said, confused. Do you mean why am I naked or why am I here? Vali says with an innocent smile. Let's start with why are you here? Issei says, amused. I don't mind at all, but nighttime visits are only fun when I'm awake for them. Issei says, smirking. Blushing slightly, Vali continues. The thing is, after we departed, I went back home and got a message from a friend of mine. I wanted to talk to you about it, so I came over to visit. Unfortunately, you were asleep. Okay then. Now why are you naked? Issei says, confused. During all the mess, Issei's door opens up and his mother comes in shocked. Needless to say, she freaked out and Issei was a bit annoyed. Well, that was awkward. Anyway, I was naked because when I realized you were asleep I wanted to join you. Sadly, like an old friend of mine, I'm more comfortable sleeping naked, Vali says, getting up to get dressed. Issei looks on stunned as Vali puts on a black lace panty and silver bra. I get it, I'm hot, but we can discuss that later. After class is over I'll have somebody send for you. Things are about to get interesting thanks to Cokehead. Vali says, having put on her uniform. Yeah, I gotcha. So what do you want to do about this Asia girl? Issei says, still stunned. For now let's get to class, Vali says, smirking. As Issei walks to class he's surprised at the calmness of his new master. Getting to school, Issei is surprised at the reactions of his classmates. What the heck? Why is one of the four queens with Hyodo? A girl says, stunned. I heard he only hangs with the two pervs, but he's not one himself, another classmate says. Either way, to be with one of the four queens, lucky bastard, a guy says enviously. What's this four queens stuff? Issei says, clearly confused. Realizing she's been caught, Vali drops a bombshell. See, I'm not actually new. I'm a member of the four top babes in the school. I get it. So you're one of the Wah HHHH, Issei says before freaking out at the revelation. Sorry Issei, but I gotta go. See you later, Vali says as she walks away. Well, that was uncomfortable. It seems my sister is hiding something from us. Diedrich says, concerned. No kidding, but we'll find out later for sure. With Vali. So that's the guy, huh? He's the red dragon? A redhead says next to Vali. Yay, he is Rias, but don't worry, he's cool. Vali says, chuckling. Turning serious for a second, she says. So is it true that you found your pawn? Yay, she's something, and she's actually connected to your new queen, Rias says, amused. I see. Have you talked to Sona about what we're gonna do? Vali says, concerned. Yeah, I have. With Issei. Issei was stoked with anticipation at what has happened recently. Thanks to being with Vali, he now has a hot girlfriend who accepts him and Diedrich. Class went by slowly as he waited for the end of the day and the eventual meeting with this mysterious friend. OMG. Is that Kiba? One of his classmates said. Turning around, Issei was amused to find Kiba Yuto, one of the studs of their grade, at the door. Issei expected him to be the one Vali sent to grab him, but then gets a shock when he goes to grab Kiryu. Seeing the girl nod uncomfortably before walking away, he notices the look she sends him, wondering what's next. Diedrich, you said Kiryu has a sacred gear, right? That's right, partner, she does. I don't know what it is though. Wait, do you think it's possible the fallen angels got to her somehow? Well, we'll find out soon enough, Issei thinks as he starts to nap. Hyodo, wake up. A surprising voice calls to him. Damn it, Katase. What are you doing here? I can't watch Matsuda and Motohama all the time. Issei says, groaning as he looks at the familiar pink hair of one of the kendo duo, Katase. This isn't about Matsuda and Motohama, Katase says, dragging him out of the classroom. I get it. What's up? Issei says, trying to gather himself. Blushing slightly, Katase looks right at Issei. Listen, Vali sent me to grab you. She knows we talk and figured this was the easiest way to do it. Realizing that Katase was the messenger, Issei gets a rare grin. Seems I'll figure out their gears after all. That's right, this day just keeps getting better, Diedrich says, amused. In front of the Orc building, Katase dragged Issei to the front of the abandoned building. Issei looks on curiously as Katase makes her way into the building, dragging Issei up the steps. She stops in front of a large brass door. Turning to the young man, Katase gets a serious expression. Listen, Issei, what I'm about to show you is a huge secret. You can't tell anybody, otherwise it could put them in serious danger, Katase says sternly. Got it. Issei says, taking things seriously. Partner, I sense a lot of powerful devils. Vali is there, but there are two others who are extremely strong. Actually, it seems our friend Kiryu is there as well, Diedrich informed him. That's not good, it seems that it's what I was afraid of, Issei says to Diedrich, a bit sullen. Going back to the reality, Katase opens the door and sees a bunch of different people in the room. Kiba is there sitting next to a stunned Kiryu. Vali is there, but the girl next to him immediately catches his eye. Ufufu. So this is Vali's new queen. I must admit he's quite impressive. A young woman with long black hair and purple eyes says, excited. Issei couldn't help but stare at the women because of her massive breasts. Vali was impressive, but this girl was larger still. Pervert. Another young girl says, with gray hair. She's a short girl, but she's very familiar to Issei. Give him a break, Kaneko. It's not often you meet breasts as large as Akino's. A young woman with blonde drill hair says as she sips tea. Enough, Kaneko. Revel. Can you guys save your arguments for later? Vali says, clearly annoyed at the two. Issei was stunned at who he was meeting but quickly regained his composure. Ah. So he's arrived at last. That's good, we can finally get started, a woman says from behind the shower. Issei sits slack-jawed as a young woman with green eyes and long crimson hair peeks out to see the group. Damn it, Rias. I told you to shower before you got here, Vali says, annoyed. Sorry, Vali, you know how I am, the girl named Rias says, confused. Issei, take a seat next to Kiryu, we have some explaining to do, Vali says, annoyed. Issei gathers himself and takes the seat. A few minutes later, the redhead whose name is Rias starts to explain everything. Issei, Kiryu, welcome to the Orc. I am Rias Gremory, and I am a devil, Rias says with pride. Issei and Kiryu look on stunned. Kiryu is first to act. Wait, you mean like those horned beasts in the stories? Kiryu says a bit skeptically. Not quite horned, but we are special, Rias says, stunned. Kiryu, after what happened to you, I saved you and made you my servant. It seems as though Vali made Issei her servant. So, all of these people are your servants? Kiryu says, stunned. No, my servants are Akeno, Kiba, and Kaneko, Rias says, pointing to the black-haired girl and the gray-haired girl along with the blonde male. I'm Vali, Kiryu. It's nice to meet you. Listen, my servants are Issei, who you already know, Katase, and the blonde over there, Revel. Revel's nice, but you need some time to get to know her. I have one more servant, but she's busy. Let me guess, Murayama? Issei says smugly. That's right. How did you know that? Katase says, shocked. That would be because of me. Diedrich shouts. So it's true, Vali did get the Red Dragon Emperor. Ravel says stunned. Yep, he's the Red Dragon. I haven't seen him fight yet, but I'm sure he's strong. Wow. So you got some massive dragon gear, huh Issei? Kiryu says stunned. Yeah, we can talk more about that later. So Rias, tell me why you brought us here. Issei says, getting surprisingly serious. Straight to the point, huh? Well, it has to do with what happened to you and Kiryu. It's about the fallen angels that killed Kiryu and tried to kill you. Rias says, getting serious for a moment. Damn it, so I was right. Issei curses, surprising Rias and Vali. Right about what, Issei? Vali says, curious. Well, Diedrich told me that Kiryu had a sacred gear as well as Murayama and Katases. So when Kiba went to grab Kiryu this morning, I wondered if the fallen angels somehow gotten to her. Hey Kiba, could have been coming to me for a different reason, Kiryu said, clearly annoyed. He could have, but then again, here you were right here with me, Issei says sarcastically. Anyway, back to the matter at hand, Rias said, trying to get everyone focused. Vali called me after you guys were attacked and told me about the situation. Pretty much. Cokehead tricked Rainier and a few other friends of mine in the Grigori into attacking us. He's probably hoping to start a war. Those same fallen angels are going to kill a nun who is coming into the area. I don't know if she's there already, but look out for her. Blonde hair, green eyes, in a classic church uniform. Got it. So what's a fallen angel and what's this sacred gear thing? Kiryu asks, still completely confused. Here's the deal, Kiryu. The devils are part of the supernatural world, but for the purpose of this discussion, you only need to worry about 3 groups. Angels, fallen angels, and us devils. Devils are not the horned beings you're used to in movies, but we do live in hell. Angels live in heaven. Be careful though, because any contact with holy energy will kill you. Fallen angels are angels who have given into their desire. They're the most dangerous group because of the fact that they can use holy power like angels but are as ruthless as devils. Sounds fun. But seriously, what are sacred gears? Kiryu says.
Sorry about that. Sacred gears are a tool created by God, the ruler of the angels. It was supposed to allow humans to combat supernatural beings. There are a few sacred gear users on our team. I have Kiba, while Vali has Murayama, Katase, and Issei. You also have a sacred gear.
Cool, so if I have this sacred gear, how do I activate it? Kiryu asks innocently. Think of the strongest thing you can think of and focus your energy, Rias says calmly. Gotcha. Kiryu gets into a gunman's pose and focuses her energy. Armor on, Kiryu shouts, and a dark blue gauntlet appears on her arms. So she's a fan of Samus Aran. Good choice, Issei thinks to himself. Partner, we got a problem, Diedrich says a bit nervously. What's wrong, buddy? Issei asks concerned. Kiryu's gear, it belongs to Tiamat, one of the 5 dragon kings. She also happens to be one of my mates. Huh? Issei shouts accidentally. Issei, what's wrong? Vali shouts normally. Vali, that's Tiamat, one of the 5 dragon kings. She was my best friend, and we fought over Diedrich all the time, Albion says, shocked. I see. Rias, you said this girl cost you 8 pawns? Now I know why. She's the sacred gear of Tiamat, one of the 5 dragon kings. Impossible. God only created 13 Longinus, Rias says, terrified. Yes, but I'm a bit different. I was turned into a sacred gear by somebody else. I'd reveal more, but it would complicate things far more than I care to admit. Tiamat yells. It's nice to meet you, everybody. Nice to see you, Diedrich and Albion. Issei's gear shines, revealing his red gauntlet. Hello Tiamat, it's been some time. We must talk another time. Vali's gear shines as well, revealing a white pair of wings. Hello my old friend, I'm glad you are doing well. It seems there's some catching up to be done, Rias says, excited. This is fun and all, but I still don't know about the other sacred gears. If we're gonna all show off, why not let the whole gang in on the fun? Issei says, intrigued about the other gears. All of a sudden there's a knock on the door. Come on in. You're late as always. Vali shouts to the person. As the door opens, Murayama comes in. It's clear she's been at kendo practice. The sheen of sweat is clear.
Sorry they had me practicing today and I couldn't get, Murayama starts to say until she's shocked. Issei. Here now. What the, Murayama says shocked.
Damn it, Murray. Vali told us about this earlier. Issei is a member of her peerage. Kataise says annoyed with her friend. Anyway, focus. We're about to show off our sacred gears. Kataise says annoyed. After regaining her composure, Murayama, Kiba, and Kataise show off their gears. I'm first. My gear is called Sword Birth. It lets me create all different types of swords, though I mainly use this one. Holy Eraser. Kiba says calmly. Focusing for a moment, he shows off one of his swords, a dark blade that gives off some serious power. Ha! Nice. My power is Blade Blacksmith. Like Kiba, I can summon swords for creation, but mine are only holy blades where Kiba makes demon blades. I use a regular katana mostly, Kataise says smirking. This is my blade. Murayama says still nervous. Focusing her energy, she reveals a pure katana with a snake handle. Impossible. She holds the blade of Yamada no Orochi. How did you get that? Diedrich says shocked. We had a kendo tournament in Kyoto and I got lost during our free times. I saw the blade and it just bonded to me. Murayama says stunned. Wow, lucky girl. Issei says amused. Anyway, that's everyone. Vali says amused by everything. So Issei, head home for today. Normally I'd start you on contracts, but it's getting kinda late and I think you should go home and rest. Vali says to his surprise. Cool, see you guys later. Issei says walking home. With Vali. So Murayama, you like Issei huh? Vali smirks deviously. Murayama blushes heavily at the news. Yeah, I do. He's kind and very good to people. I know he hangs out with the perverts, but he never does anything. Yeah, it's really annoying. Kataise says. The only reason we don't use our blades to end those perverts is because we're hoping they convince Issei to peek himself. You just said, we, Kataise. Vali says amused. Shit. The secret's out. Yeah, I like the guy too. Kataise says embarrassed. Don't worry, I'm willing to share. Vali says amused. And Rias, that doesn't include you. Vali turns to her friend. Why not, Vali? You can share him with your peerage members but not with me. Rias says upset. Yes, because I know why you want to try and seduce him. Vali says angrily. Rias gives off an innocent look but Vali moved on. HMPH. There's no way he can beat my brother, Ravel says haughtily. Don't be so sure. He may yet surprise you, Vali smirks. With Issei. What a day, huh partner? Issei says walking home from the orc. Yeah, Yamada no Orochi, Albion, and Tiamat all together. This is gonna get ugly. Diedrich says annoyed. Well, for now let's focus on how to save that nun. Issei says as the two continue to walk. Issei walks into a very familiar park. To think we met here all those years ago. Me and Irina were watching that old man and his perversion led me to awaken you. Don't remind me, partner. I still remember the stunned look on your face when I told you Irina was a girl. Yep, that was something. Speaking of which, I wonder how Irina is doing, Issei thinks. Partner, hold on a second. I sense a draconic energy in the area. Diedrich says a bit surprised. It's actually by your favorite bench. As Issei walks further towards the bench, he's taken aback at what he sees. On the bench is a young girl in a nun's costume sleeping by herself. You gotta be kidding me, Issei says in disbelief. Diedrich, I think we found that nun. Well, what do you know? The nun is right here. Issei says still a bit shell-shocked. Knowing how he was as a kid, he calmly approaches the young nun. Yan. Oh. How are you? Asia says a bit weary.
Hello there. My name is Issei. It's nice to meet you. Issei says calmly.
Hello Issei-san. It's nice to meet a fellow dragon. I see so few of you. Asia says with a smile. Yeah, it's nice to meet huh? Issei stands dumbfounded.
Partner, she's right. I can sense a dragonic energy, but it's not as pure as mine. It can't be. This nun is. Diedrich says shocked.
Asia, you wouldn't happen to be a hybrid dragon, would you? Issei says shocked. So the dragon inside you noticed, huh? Asia says with a twinge of melancholy. What's wrong, Asia? It sounds like you don't like your dragonic heritage, Issei says concerned.
Well, you see, my father was a sprite dragon and my mother was a human. My family was happy until we were hunted down by members of the church. They were going to kill me until they discovered my sacred gear. Asia says, remembering the pain.
Not surprising hybrids are hated by the church since it goes against God's teachings, Diedrich says. I'm so sorry, Asia. I can't believe they could do something so horrible, Issei says angrily. It's fine. I'm happy now, and thanks to Rainier and her friends, I don't have to worry about being hunted again, Asia says with a smile. Poor girl. She has no idea what's about to happen to her, Issei says, a bit nervous. As he sits there deciding what to do next, he hears a loud rumbling. Somebody's hungry, huh, Asia? Blushing a bit, Asia continues. Sorry, I came into the city because I wanted to have some fun. I got lost and then fell asleep in this park. Hey Asia, let's go get some food, Issei says calmly. Partner, shouldn't we tell Vali what's going on? Diedrich says, worried.
Not yet. This news is important, but it won't change the overall objective. Issei says, getting annoyed. What Issei wasn't aware of is somebody was watching him from the sidelines. Or at least he wasn't concerned with it.
He's being so reckless, damn. I should tell Lady Vali, but for now I'll wait, the voice says, following along. Issei and Asia went to a local burger store and enjoyed a meal. To Issei's surprise, the girl was very familiar with human culture. Shocking that down to her time as a dragon. Issei continues to eat. The two calmly enjoy themselves and Asia smiles for one of the few times tonight. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Shouldn't you be getting back to the church soon? Issei says, trying to get her home. Although he wouldn't mind taking the girl now and stopping things before they get too crazy, Vali had a plan. Yes, I should thank you for tonight, Issei, Asia says. The two finish eating and walk back towards the park. Oh, Asia, before you go I want to do something, if you don't mind, Issei says, thinking about the next phase. What's that? Asia says before Issei casts a spell on her. What was that? Asia asks innocently. This is a bit of a protection spell. I know you'll be fine, but as a fellow dragon I'm allowed to worry, Issei says as a familiar face approaches. Oh Asia, I've been looking all over for you, Rainier says, appearing from seemingly nowhere. Deciding not to reveal their connection, Rainier decides to play dumb. Hello there. I guess you're the one who found Asia. Thank you for looking out for her, the fallen angel says, trying to hide the fact she knew him. No problem. Take good care of her now, okay, Issei says, making sure to emphasize the ending piece. So are you gonna do something about our little spy? Diedrich says, concerned.
No, if she wanted to go to Vali, she would have by now. Let's go home, Diedrich, Issei says, making his way back home.
With Rainier. Everyone, I'm back, Rainier says after arriving at the church. She takes Asia to her room and decides to rest for the night. Nice work, Rainier. I guess letting Asia out for a while was good for her. She can die in peace now, Donasik says with a savage grin. Yeah, I know, don't worry, the girl is safe. The devils in the area are none the wiser, Rainier says calmly. Good, I was a bit worried when you ran into those devils, but since they're none the wiser, we can proceed tomorrow with the plan, Donasik says calmly. He could tell something was off but didn't bother to worry about it. Next morning, Issei's room. Issei woke up groggily given everything that happened. He was surprised when his bed was empty. Huh? I guess Vali didn't come to visit this morning, Issei says, a bit amused. Getting dressed and going to school, he was surprised at how much simpler things were now that he was a devil. The sun did annoy him slightly, but not enough to be a real drag. He was in for a real surprise when he arrived though. Whoa, Aika, what changed? Issei says, amused. Kiryu had changed her signature glasses and gone from her typical twintails to long hair just like Vali and Akano. The guys in the class were stunned, although Murayama was giggling at the idea. For some reason Katase was glaring at Issei, but he wasn't bothered by it. Issei figured that she was the one who was watching him yesterday, but unless she confronts him he chose not to deal with it. I'll tell you later, Aika says, amused. Looking back, the girl makes a sign they came up with to meet on the roof. Roof? So what's with the change? Issei said, looking at the new Kiryu. Well, you see, Tiamat wanted to talk to me. She said that if I tried this I'd be more attractive towards guys. So I took her advice and decided to test it out for a day. Well, as a guy, I can certainly tell you it worked. Matsuda and Motohama were drooling, and considering they hate you more than anybody, it means you did something right. Thanks, Issei. I may have to wait in line, but I'm glad my changes worked. Kiryu says, blushing slightly. Hey Aika, I was wondering, what position are you in Rias's peerage? Issei asks curiously. Oh, she never mentioned it. Apparently I'm worth 8 pawns. Whoa. That's awesome. Although considering the fact that you have one of the Dragon Kings, that should be obvious. Thanks, Issei. Aika says, blushing. Sorry though, I have to go. Aika says, leaving. Issei noticed as she walked back she seemed far happier than before.
As she leaves to go back to the classroom, Issei sits amused, wondering what to do next. Although that would quickly change. Issei decided to call out the person spying on him. So what do you want to talk about, Katase? Issei says as the young girl appears.
I want to talk to you about what happened last night, Katase says, annoyed. What about it? I ran into the nun, we had a hamburger, and then I let her go back, Issei says, amused. You're hiding something, aren't you? Katase says, making Issei a little nervous. It's a good thing she doesn't have a dragon's hearing or I'd be in trouble. Issei thinks nervously. Yes, he was hiding something, but for now he would keep that little piece of data secret. Nope, I'm not hiding anything, Issei says, sweat dropping a little bit. Realizing Issei was hiding something, Katase decides to have a little fun. Since she cast a barrier on the roof when the two came up, nobody could hear or see what she was about to do. Luckily for her, because it was something she didn't want anybody seeing. Walking over to Issei, the nervous Katase pushes Issei down, ready for a little between-class action. What a shame, Issei. If you tell me what's going on, you can see something that those two friends of yours could never see, Katase said, teasing Issei. Taking off her shirt to reveal her petite breasts. Katase looked on in glee when Issei's eyes widened like dinner plates. Partner, I normally wouldn't get involved, but maybe you should tell her, Diedrich says inside Issei's head. Damn it, Diedrich, I know that. But I have to keep this a secret, at least for now, Issei says, getting more and more flustered. He had to admit he was enjoying it. However, he knew there would be hell to pay later. Come on, Issei, you know you want it, Katase says as planting small kisses on his neck. Unfortunately for Issei, the bell rang just as Katase reached for her skirt. What a shame that's the bell. See ya in class, Issei. Katase walks away and closes the door as Issei sighs in relief. Phew, that was close. I can't believe I'm saying this, but saved by the bell, Issei says, thrilled. Damn it, partner. We both needed that and you know it, Diedrich says, annoyed. Diedrich, don't worry. I'm pretty sure things will work themselves out, Issei says, still trying to relax. Making the way back to the classroom, Issei is still extremely flustered. After arriving back in the class and apologizing for being late, he looks back at Katase and the young girl sticks her tongue out. Issei knew today was going to be tough and it was only beginning. ORC after class. Issei arrived at the Orc to find that everyone else was there, including Murayama and Katase. Although still annoyed at Katase, he tried not to let it show. Good, everybody's here. It's time to discuss the plan for tonight, Rias says, getting serious. I've already talked to my brother and he'll allow the fallen angels to join your peerage, Vali, as long as you promise that it's fine with Azazel. Azazel will be fine with it, trust me, Rias, although there's something else that bothers me, Vali says, powering up. Partner, this is not good. Your new master can probably smell Katase on us. We're toast. Issei, why in the world is it you smell like Katase? And based on the scent, this was recent, Vali says, her anger rising.
Well, you see, it's a funny story. Issei stutters, panicking, not wanting to have to face his new master quite yet. He had a thing about angry women, and that was he wanted to avoid them. Katase smiles at his predicament, but someone else comes to Issei's defense.
Sorry to interrupt, Kiryu says, surprising everybody. What is it? I'm in the middle of interrogating my boyfriend as well as my queen, Vali says, getting angrier. Well, it's just it had to have happened during break, and Issei was talking with me about my new life as a devil. I left and then walked back to my class. I don't know what happened, but I did notice that when Katase came back she was a bit disheveled. My guess is Katase trapped him and decided to have her way with your new pawn, Kiryu says, snickering heavily.
Whoa, That's not what happened. I started to, but the bell interrupted me. Katase says nervously.
Oh, did you now, Katase? Vali says, turning angrily towards her knight. Enough. Rias yells, flaring her own power. Clearly you guys have something to discuss, but we have an issue of our own. That girl is going to be killed tonight. You can worry about your jealousy fits later. Vali huffs in anger and Katase calms down as well, although she sends an angered grin at Issei. Anyway, let's get back to the matter at hand. Vali says, calming herself. Rias, you and Akeno will distract the other fallen angels. Meanwhile, Ravel, Murayama, and I will deal with the inside. We'll rescue Asia and be on the way. Wait, what about me, Lady Vali? Katase says, upset. You have to stay home. Consider it a punishment for trying to seduce Issei. Ha ha, serves you right, Katase. Issei laughs. Oh, you're not going either. After all, I sent Katase to follow you yesterday in case you were attacked. The fact she confronted you likely has to do with that, but I'll let that go for now. Vali says, trying to be firm. Ha ha. Serves you right, Issei, Katase mocks right back. Okay, then I hope she'll be alright, Issei says calmly. This momentarily shocks the group as they expected Issei to protest a bit more. The rest of the meeting went on without a hitch, so Issei went home without saying anything. Although if you looked at him you could see a small smirk on his face. Issei's house. After leaving the orc, Issei goes home knowing that soon the orc would be rescuing Asia. Well, Diedrich, tonight's about to get interesting, wouldn't you agree? That's right, partner, thanks to that spell of yours, regardless the girl will be saved. Although I do feel guilty about not telling Vali and Albion. Listen, Diedrich, what Vali doesn't know won't hurt her. There's a very good reason we haven't told Vali, but for now we wait. Near the church. The ORC has just arrived at the church and it seemed as though nothing had happened. So Vali, what's the plan? I assume by now Rainier has told her two friends about us coming. Rias says, trying to prepare. Yes, here's what we do. Rias, I need you to go deal with the others. I'll go in and deal with Asia. Donasik will be with Rainier so we can easily deal with the problem. Vali says calmly. Lady Vali, something is bothering me. Murayama says, worried. If it's about the fact Issei is clearly hiding something, don't worry about it, Vali says calmly. How can you say that, Vali? He could have vital information on our mission. Rias says, worried as well. Because my sense of smell is extremely good. I figured out what he was hiding, and it's not important, Vali says, irritable.
I'll trust you on this, Vali. Rias says, concerned but giving in.
The group heads into the abandoned church, with Rias. Rias walks alone headed towards the church. Thanks to a barrier and illusion that she cast earlier, she can release her full power without worry, but that's only if necessary. Well, what do we have here, Midlet? A devil wandering into our little territory? She's not too wise, is she? A tall, busty woman with blue hair yells. Yeah, Calawarner, I see her. She must have a death wish. Midlet, a young blonde girl, says smugly. Based on your looks, you must be Midlet and Calawarner. It's nice to meet you. Rias says to the shock of the two fallen angels. How do you know our names? Midlet says, scared, ignoring the fact they just mentioned the names.
My name is Rias Grimori, and now you have two options. Rias says, releasing the barrier, revealing the rest of her peerage. You can surrender and you'll be taken prisoner, or you can fight now and face certain death. Although I suppose Vali would be a bit upset if I killed you girls.
We surrender. Calawarner said calmly. Wait, why would you surrender? We could win this. Midlet says, angry.
Listen, she mentioned Vali. If Vali's saying we can surrender without any fighting, something is wrong. Calawarner says calmly.
Got it. Midlet says, giving in as well. Good, now come with us. Vali should be taking care of your pal Donasik shortly. But I wanted to have a little fun first. Akeno shrugs, upset. The two fallen angels and Ria's sweat dropped a bit at this. With Asia. Let me go. Please. You can't do this, Asia screams as she's tied up to an odd device. But I can, little girl. You see, the church wanted your sacred gear, so I'm going to take it for myself. A man in a trench coat and fedora says smugly. You monster. You'll pay for this, Asia yells. Donasik, please, we need to talk. Rainier says upset. Silence Rainier. If you continue like this, the person who I'll kill next is you. The man whose name is Donasik says angrily. There are intruders that have just broken into the church. Deal with them. Rainier leaves grumpily but smirks, knowing that by the end of the night Donasik will be dead. With Vali, seems Rias has dealt with the others and they're back at the Orc. Ladies, it's our turn. Vali says, excited and ready to go. Lady Vali, before we start there's something you need to know. Ravel says, a bit nervous. What is it, Ravel? We're about to start a mission. Vali says, a little aggravated. Well, you see, my brother is coming for a visit in 4 days. Apparently my family has decided that the time has come for him and Lady Rias to get married. Ravel says, nervous. What? Why didn't you tell me that earlier? Vali screams, freaking out. Ravel sits a bit scared. Sorry Ravel, but that's big news. We'll worry about the rest of the news later. For now we deal with the fallen angels. Vali says, regaining her composure. Right, Lady Vali. Murayama and Ravel each say determined that this mission will end in success. The girls charge into the church ready to do what is right. With Vali and gang have arrived inside the church hoping to rescue the nun, Asia Argento. Her, Kates, and Ravel are there while Rias has taken care of Calwarner and Midlet, 2 friends of Rainier who Vali had requested be allowed to live. Calwarner and Midlet are safe, Vali. I brought them back to the Orc. Now, you do your part, okay. Rias says through an intercom she had brought along. Phew, that's good. Listen, don't harm them at all. Vali says, relieved. She had to admit if Calwarner and Midlet were killed by Rias, her plan would be ruined. For now at least she can deal with the rest without issue. Vali-sama, is everything okay? Murayama says, worried. The girl noticed the annoyance on Vali's face but didn't want to discuss it. Yeah, I'm fine. Rias has done her part, so I was a little relieved. Vali says with calmness in her voice. So how is it you know members of the Grigori? Ravel says, curious. Her master never really talked about herself, so this was as good a time as any. I'll tell you after we rescue Asia. Besides, I think we have company. Vali said, looking at the number of priests that had arrived. HMPH, these guys are nothing. Vali-sama. I can finish them off myself. Come Serpent's Blade. Murayama says, amused. As the katana appears, Murayama radiates confidence. While she deals with the priests, Vali and Ravel quickly fly away. Ravel, this way. Vali says, pointing to a seemingly hidden entrance. After blasting it away with a dragon shot, Vali and Ravel fly to the edge hoping to find Asia. With Murayama, so 100 priests and little old me. Luckily these guys have only swords or I'd be in trouble, Murayama says, amused. Girly, you're no match for us. We'll purify you in a second, one of the priests says. Yeah, let's strip her naked, after all, those fallen angels never said we couldn't have any fun. Another priest said. Unfortunately for him that was short-lived as Murayama quickly sped behind the young man and stabbed him in the heart. Okay, listen, I get purification and all, but only one person gets to have his way with this body, and it isn't any of you. Murayama says, extremely annoyed. Now how about I give you guys a gift before I send you to an early grave? Gift of the Hydra, Murayama shouts before 7 copies of her appear. What the hell is that? One of the priests shouts. This is Gift of the Hydra, a special technique my Kusanagi blade can do. Since it's based off the Hydra, a beast known for its 8 heads, it allows me to create 7 copies of myself. Best part is they're all as powerful as the original. Have fun, fools. Murayama shouts, teleporting away while the 7 copies attacked. With Vali and Ravel head deeper into the church as Murayama deals with the priests up front. The girls are moving rather quickly until Murayama pops up next to them. How did you get done so quickly? That was 100 priests, even Vali-sama wouldn't be that quick. Gift of the Hydra. Vali says, smirking. Gift of the Hydra. Murayama says, responding in kind. Okay. You'll let me in on the joke later, I take it. Ravel says, annoyed. The girls both nod as they can focus on what's to come. I was wondering when you girls would arrive. Donasik says, annoyed. To his side is a beat-up Rainier with cuts all over her. Rainier. What happened? Vali says angrily. Sorry Vali, he realized what had happened and got to me. Rainier mutters before she faints. You bastard. You'll pay for that. Vali says angrily, although her anger is short-lived as she notices the nun in question. What are you doing with her? Vali screams as she's noticed that Asia was tied up to a cross with chains all around her. Ah, so you know about her. Well, simple, I'm taking her sacred gear. It will make me stronger than ever. Where she's going she won't miss it. Ha ha ha. I wanted to wait and see the helpless looks on your face when I stole her gear, otherwise it would already be mine. Donasek taunts the group before activating the ceremony to sacrifice her. All of a sudden out of the blue a red light shines and Asia vanishes, dropping the chains. She's replaced by somebody the gang didn't expect. Who the hell are you? Donasek says angrily. Issei, what the hell are you doing here? Vali says shocked.
Oh, hey girls, sorry about the surprise visit. Funny story actually. I kinda ran into Asia the other night and we had a little chat. Ray over there took her back, but before she did, I activated a little spell. It let me switch places with Asia so whatever fallen boy tried to do, he'd fail. She's back at my house. Issei says sheepishly. Well ladies, have fun killing this guy. My work here is done. Issei says before teleporting away to Donasek's fury.
When I get my hands on that bastard Donasek starts to say before being stopped by an angry Vali's aura. Yuho, master's pissed. That Issei fellow is in trouble, Revel says annoyed. You'll have to excuse me, but now I have to kill you, Vali says activating divine dividing. No way. You have divine dividing? That means you're the… Donasek looks on in shock. Bingo, I'm the White Dragon Empress, Vali says annoyed. Divide. You'll pay for that, Donasek says as his power is absorbed. He tries to attack Vali, but she dodges quickly and, after kicking Donasek in the head, takes more power. Divide. That should be enough, Vali says flying in front of the fallen Donasek. With one dragon shot the man is blasted into pieces ending the battle. Well done Lady Vali. Revel says happy, but looking at her master, Revel could tell Vali was not happy. Revel, grab Donasek and go back to the base. Murayama, you go get Katase and meet us at the base. I'm gonna go get my new queen, Vali says still quite annoyed. Yes ma'am. The two say knowing that right now Vali was rather cross at her new queen.
With Issei. Issei had been sitting with Asia sleeping in his lap after her tough ordeal. Luckily for her, she was alive and well thanks to Issei's quick interruption.
Partner, you know she's furious at you, right? Diedrich says from inside the gear. Well duh, of course she is. I would be too, but don't worry, we'll explain everything once she arrives, Issei says. Wah. Asia yawns waking up finally after her nap. Hey there sleepyhead. How are you doing? Issei says amused. No way. Issei-san. Asia says stunned. Wait, where am I? The last thing I remember is Rainier trying to sneak me away. Unfortunately we were caught by this guy Donasek. He knocked me out and now I'm here. Asia says still confused. I'll explain everything in a second Asia. Issei says noticing the magic circle appear. Hey there, so I'm guessing it's late night meeting time. Issei says grinning. Vali nods but she's still furious. Let's go Asia. Issei says grabbing a hold of the nun and the three teleport to the Orc building. At the Orc, Vali has arrived along with Issei and Asia and everyone else is there ready to go. Katase is still angry with Issei, based on her look, but Issei ignores it. The fallen angels Mitlet and Calawarner were at the side along with an injured Rainier, who was lying on the couch. So, care to tell me what's going on and why I have 3 fallen angels and a nun in my clubroom? Rias says still angry. Before we do this, Asia, do you mind healing Rainier? We're gonna need her in order for this explanation to make sense. Issei says to the young girl by his side. Wait, what do you mean heal? Vali says confused. She looks on stunned as Asia walks over to Rainier. Placing her hands next to her, the rings on her fingers shine a green light. Once that's over, Rainier is healed. Let me explain this one. Master was unaware of our new friend's secret. Issei says cockily to the annoyance of Vali and Katase. Of course Katase is still angry from missing out on the battle thanks to him. What secret? Vali and Rias both say at the same time. Basically Asia is the daughter of a sprite dragon and a human. The church killed her parents and were about to kill her when they noticed her sacred gear. Long story short, they used the girl, and when she accidentally healed a devil that appeared out of nowhere, the church got rid of her. As for the fallen angels, that's where Vali comes in. Issei says, smirking as the crowd looks on stunned. Vali smiles sheepishly as she explains her connection to the fallen angels. I met Azazel at a video game convention a few years back. We bonded a bit, and although he never told me about his true self, we got along just fine. I ran into Rainier one time when we were hanging. Azazel eventually explained the truth and we decided to be friends anyway. I don't know where he is now. Okay. But what does all of that have to do with Asia? Rias says, still annoyed.
I'm getting to that, Ria Tan. Vali says, teasing her friend with a hated nickname. When Issei and I had a date, Rainier attacked us, claiming to be doing it for Azazel. Having spoken with him over the years, I knew it was actually Kokaville, another cadre. I convinced Rainier to spare me and she told me about Asia. So here we are.
Geez Vali. Why do you always get me in such troublesome situations? So what are we gonna do now? Rias says, annoyed. Simple, I'm adding Asia and the fallen angels to my peerage, Vali says calmly. HMPH, I'll never serve a rotten devil. Find me Azazel Sama. Midlet says angrily. Calawarner quickly agrees. You don't have to find him, he's already here. Come on out, old man, Vali says, smirking. Damn it. How did you know I was there? A man with a brown trench coat and black and beige hair says, smirking. Azazel Sama, what are you doing here? Calawarner said angrily. That's what I wanted to know. Rias says angrily. She didn't realize Azazel had arrived or that he was connected to Vali. Let's see. I knew what was happening and I figured what would happen next. Anyway, Calawarner and Midlet can come live with me. Rainier, what do you want to do? Azazel asks the final girl. I want to work with Vali. I don't feel right being by your side after falling so easily for Donazik's traps. Rainier says, blushing heavily. Alrighty then. Azazel says, smiling. Hey Rias, tell your brother I say hello and sorry my subordinates acted up. Also that we're still on for drinks this weekend if he wants. Azazel says, smirking before leaving with the other two fallen angels. As he leaves, a stunned Rias and Orc watch at what happened. So anyway, I guess before I do this, I have to make a change. After all, bondage gear like this won't exactly work for daily attire. Rainier says before transforming into a young girl with long black hair and large breasts, a little bit smaller than Akino's. She was wearing a purple dress for now. You can call me Yuma Amano for now. Rainier says, smiling. Not bad, she looks kinda cute. Issei says to a blushing Rainier. Unfortunately the looks of annoyance from Katase, Murayama, and Vali change that. Okay. Anyway, now I'm going to add Yuma and Asia to my peerage, Vali says with confidence. Asia looks hesitant, but a calming hand from Issei reassures her. Vali then takes out a bishop piece for Asia and a pawn piece for Rainier. Doing the ceremony for both girls. The evil pieces shine, adding the new peerage to Vali's gang, while learning Asia's last name as Argento in the process. Listen everybody, I'll contact Sona to get papers for Rainier and Asia. We'll meet up tomorrow to discuss more plans. Rias says as Rias's peerage leaves. Oh Issei, I'll let Asia stay with you for now, but you'll pay dearly for not telling me about this, Issei. Vali says angrily. I see, so what's my punishment? Issei says smugly. Oh, you'll find out shortly my friend. I haven't taught you about being a devil yet, have I? Vali says smirking, and the girls in the background smirk along with him. The next 3 days were absolute hell for Issei. Asia and Rainier transferring in was easy enough. However, the punishment from Vali was brutal. Since he could teleport, Issei handled every single contract the girls had to do over the day. Luckily for him, he had loads of stamina so he could avoid the problem. He had met all types of people. The most notable was an otaku who usually talked to Murayama about anime. The two got into an argument about the recent ending of Naruto.
Issei was a Naruhina guy, the other guy was Narusaku, which hadn't ended well. His favorite by far was a man who called himself Miltan. He wanted to be turned into a magical girl, which Issei sadly couldn't do. But since he seemed like a good guy, Issei went along with him. Luckily for him, he could make clones, so he got some training in. Of course, being with Asia was just as enjoyable. They met one kind family who summoned them because they wanted help with their sick child.
AN. This is the family that Freed would have killed when Asia discovered Issei was a devil. Asia healed the child and said if they ever needed help to call her again. Of course for Issei, 3 days later he was exhausted and luckily for him, the weekend had arrived. He heard Kiryu and Rainier had some interesting people as well, but he would ask her about them later.
Damn Drake, this was brutal. I guess Vali really was mad after all. Issei says chuckling. He had to admit he was a bit sore, but thanks to Asia, he healed well. By the way, Asia was sleeping in a separate room nearby. Since he lived alone it was far easier. His parents understood the supernatural world enough to know to let him live his life.
HMPH, you got off easy. Albion and I once got into an argument that got so heated we started fighting. The argument went on for a really long time and it was very bloody. Whoa, how'd the argument end? Issei says amused. Diedrich was silent for a second, a little embarrassed. Well, you see. Spit it out, Diedrich. Issei said annoyed. We fought all over the place. It got so bad that the 3 factions actually teamed up to seal us into our sacred gears. I've been looking to find my sister and apologize for centuries now. So the 2 heavenly dragons were sealed because they got into a couple's spat, Issei says smiling. Yep, it was really embarrassing looking back on it, Diedrich says embarrassed. Tell ya what, I'll help you fix things up with Albion once Vali comes over, Issei says smiling.
Thank you partner. You're welcome, Diedrich. Now let's go to bed. The weekend's coming and things are about to get fun. Issei says as he starts to take a nap. All of a sudden Issei sensed a magic circle about to appear. Maybe Vali came to apologize to me. How lucky, Issei thinks. Of course his surprise was that instead of the silver employed by his boss the circle was red. Once the circle had finished forming, Rias flew out from the seal.
Issei, hurry, I need you to sleep with me, Rias says to the shock of the young dragon. Okay. Definitely not Vali, but I'm not complaining, Issei thinks, getting excited.
What's wrong Issei? Am I not good enough for you? Rias says as she hurriedly starts to strip. Before being stopped by Issei.
Rias-senpai, you're definitely good enough. Stop being hasty and let's enjoy this nice and slow moment, Issei says, hoping to enjoy the moment. But you don't understand, I don't have time. Rias says, upset and frantic, although by this time she's fully naked. Issei, who can tell something is very wrong, decides against deflowering the girl here and then. To Rias's shock, Issei embraces the frantic redhead, calming her down. All of a sudden a silver circle appears. Oh great, now she shows up. Issei moans, knowing this means a headache is coming. True to form, out pops Vali, who's clearly not happy when she notices her queen is embracing her best friend. So Issei, is she still a virgin? Vali asks, annoyed. Yeah. She was kinda hasty, but I could tell she was frantic, so I pumped the brakes, Issei said sheepishly. Oh good, you haven't done it yet, Vali says, relieved. Turning to a still naked Rias, Vali starts lecturing the redhead. Damn it Rias. I knew you would do this. Listen, I told Graphia I would deal with you. So go back to the house. Don't worry, we'll resolve this razor problem tomorrow, Vali says angrily. What the heck is going on? Issei asked, confused. Damn it, why did you have to come now? Rias says angrily. She calmly gets off Issei, realizing her plan had failed. So I guess it's my turn to explain some stuff, Vali says sheepishly. That's it for this video, and if you guys enjoy my content, please leave a like and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also comment what fanfiction I should do next. Love you guys, take care.